My name is Koby Langley. I'm the Senior Advisor to the CEO of the Corporation of National Community Service. First, before we get started, I wanted to acknowledge two people, an old friend and a new friend. The old friend is somebody that many people are just now getting to know, but it's somebody that I've known for many, many years as a leader and advocate in the veteran and military family space. And he also happens to be sponsoring this, helping us sponsor this particular presentation. So Todd Bowers, would you please stand up? Thanks, Todd. I'd also like to recognize a new friend, Tricia Thompson. Tricia Thompson helped organize this entire pre-conference and has done some extraordinary work in leaning forward in bringing the idea of national service and volunteerism to this problem that we face, and also to recognize veterans and military families as a solution. So I'd like everybody, please give a round of applause for Tricia. Thank you, Tricia. So I'm here to talk to you all about an idea. And I'm also here to talk to you about a call to action. The idea is that even in the darkest hour, there are points of light. These points of light can actually call us to recognize a peerless spirit that inspires all of us to extraordinary patriotic acts. Acts of selfless service and sacrifice. These acts of service and sacrifice inspire others, like our friends and our family members. It's seated in the spirit of service. It inspires our neighbors and others that don't know us. When our service ends, yours does not, on places like the streets of Joplin, Missouri. Your service can actually continue through AmeriCorps, doing things like building homes for homeless veterans, responding to disasters like Katrina. Alan Petz is a hands-on network volunteer. Alan was also an Air Force veteran. He responded to the Katrina disaster and was recognized by President Bush for his selfless acts of service and continued to volunteer for many years thereafter. In Joplin, Missouri, over 16,000 AmeriCorps members, over 75,000 volunteers were motivated by AmeriCorps members, and they provided over $17 million worth of support to the city of Joplin, Missouri. There's an idea that the leadership learned in the sands of Afghanistan and the hills of Afghanistan and the sands of Iraq can be recognized and delivered here at home in places like Seattle, Washington, with AmeriCorps members like Tim Lovett. Tim was an Iraq War veteran who came home and struggled with his own hidden wounds of war, decided to volunteer as an AmeriCorps member, and stood up the first ever Veterans Corps in our nation's history. That Veterans Corps served over 2,000 veterans in the state of Washington, connecting them with important resources on campuses nationwide. There's an idea that service can continue in places like here, where we have foster grandparents who are mentoring and tutoring the children of the deployed. There's an idea that the resiliency learned from loss can result in extraordinary vision. Vision from individuals like Bobby Davis, whom volunteered as an AmeriCorps member, as well as volunteered with the American Legion Auxiliary. Bobby lost her husband in the war in Iraq, and she's since dedicated her life to supporting other veterans and military family members through AmeriCorps and through American Legion Auxiliary. This type of vision can also result in what happened here in this photograph less than 3 months ago, which is the fielding of a Veterans Corps to provide substance abuse counseling support to the National Guardsmen and reservists in our nation. Over 100. The first were actually sworn in less than a month ago. There's this idea that the lessons that we've learned as service members in the areas of teamwork can lead to teamwork here. These are fire trails. Pick your national forestry land. We have teams of AmeriCorps members, hundreds of teams of AmeriCorps members that are serving there every day. These are veterans, people like Mike Bremer, who is also an Iraq War veteran. Mike returned home and spent the next 3 years trying to find a job. Eventually, his wife sat him down and said, "Mike, what you really need is you need a new mission. You need something that will motivate you. So Mike decided to volunteer to become an AmeriCorps member. He spent approximately a year on the fire trails in places like Durango, Colorado, and he led another team of AmeriCorps members, and all of them wound up getting jobs afterwards. The idea of mission first, people always. There's an idea that was born in 1960 that national service can equal service to nation. And today, there's a reality that individuals like Chris Marvin, who himself is a veteran and who has served extraordinarily well for his country. Most people don't know is that although Chris Marvin is well known to many people in this room, that Chris was shot down during his deployment, and he's had multiple facial reconstruction surgeries and was on the edge of death. Chris has returned through his service of nation to explain to all of us that as you serve in uniform, you can also serve in national service. There's an idea that if we all join forces together, that if everybody in this room takes a look at the person to the left and to the right and says, "Can I serve with you?" that yes, we can all serve together. There's an idea that even in the darkest hour, there are a million points of light. You can be one of those points of light. So to our veterans, I would like to say, your service can continue. Your service can continue at AmeriCorps.gov. We're united with serving veterans and military families every day. Where over 16,000 veterans have already served as AmeriCorps members. Where there are 26,000 veterans that are serving as AmeriCorps members and Senior Corps members around the country today, and where we've touched over 500,000 lives last year alone. Join us at nationalservice.gov. Thank you.